One of my favorite things about cruising is waking up and being in a new place that I've never been to before. Every cruise port you visit on a cruise is a gateway to a new destination that you may never have the chance to go to again, and you want to make sure that you make the most of the short time that you're going to be there. Now, whether you have big plans to explore the culture of a new country, or you just want to head to the beach for some local food and a few drinks, there are a number of basic things that if you don't plan for, can quickly have a negative effect on your day in port. Now today, I'm going to give you 10 important things to be aware of so that your port day does not get ruined. Hello everyone, this is Jamie from Sharonatsea Travel. Thanks for joining me today. And as usual, if you enjoy the content, hey, please consider subscribing and checking out all of our cruise content that we have here on YouTube. Now first, and this might sound simple, but knowing the correct time is important so that you don't ruin your port day. When you get off the cruise ship in port, you will have time-sensitive plans, right? Including getting back to the ship on time. And since most of us use our phones to tell time nowadays, there are some very important things to know, starting with, is the ship time the same as the local time? That's going to be important to know. Now also, did you change time zones while cruising? And did the ship time change with the time zone change? Also, did your phone change time on the ship? Or maybe it changed time when you get off the ship and disconnected from ship Wi-Fi. Now these are important things you're going to want to pay attention to. Your phone settings will play a big part in how your phone keeps time on your cruise. And if you only rely on your phone, you could get caught in a situation where you're unaware of the exact time while you're in port. There's so much going on, it's very easy to lose track of time. Now, one thing that we always recommend is wearing a watch, or at least bringing a watch that does not connect to your phone, so that you always have the correct time to pay attention to while you are in the cruise port. Now next, don't plan something that you or someone in your group physically can't do. You'll have some great choices when planning shore excursions for your port day. Each excursion will require a different level of activity. Maybe it's just light walking on flat surfaces. Maybe it's a lot of walking and climbing stairs. Maybe there's a lot of physical activity needed for an excursion, like swimming. You're going to be getting in and out of a car, boat, or bus or something like that, or you're just hiking over uneven terrain. Now think about it. Does anyone in your group have any accessibility challenges? When planning your day, remember to consider your own limitations as well as the limitations of others in your group, so that you plan an excursion that everyone can enjoy together without leaving anyone behind. The wrong excursion can quickly ruin a port day. Next, how about transportation? Do your research when planning transportation in port. If it's not already included in your excursion, what methods are available, what's the expected cost, and how long will it take to get to your destination? And also remember, it's often easy to get where you need to go when you're exiting the cruise port, right? When you get off the ship, there's a lot of transportation options. But when it's time to head back to the ship, will those same forms of transportation be readily available? And don't forget to give yourself plenty of time to get back to the cruise ship, because waiting for a ride and then getting stuck in traffic can turn a great day into a full stress meltdown if you're racing against the clock to get back to your ship before it sets sail without you. Now here's something you might not have thought of. If you're planning the best beach day ever, be aware of this one thing that can quickly ruin your port day: sargassum. I know you're like, what the heck is that, Jamie? Sargassum is a particularly gross kind of brown seaweed that over the past few years has caused havoc at many beautiful beach locations that you might visit on your cruise. It's particularly bad during summer months and on beaches that are facing east due to its east to west path it often travels in the ocean currents. The popular tourist destinations put a lot of effort and have a lot of resources when it comes to removing sargassum, but the amount you encounter can change dramatically week to week in some places. You can do research for how much sargassum you run into if you're planning a beach day by looking at websites that'll let you know that information. You can check beach webcams, cruise destination Facebook groups, or travel forums to see how the sargassum is currently affecting the area you plan to spend the day at. You can find out ahead of time what you're looking at. Whatever your beach day plans are, don't let sargassum ruin your port day. Now, the next thing I've got for you is something that's helped us out a few times to avoid a port day gone wrong, and that's having a plan B. And usually the B in plan B really stands for be flexible. Lots of things can affect your big day in port, most notably weather. Also, excursions can get canceled for a number of different reasons. Whatever it might be that affects your port day, make sure that you stay positive and be flexible. If it's a port you've never been to before, doing solid research will allow you to know what other options there may be for you and your group to do if something comes up or you have some change of plans. Now maybe you can book a different last minute excursion from the cruise line. Maybe you can just explore this local city and the culture. Maybe you can find a local taxi that'll take you around to do some sightseeing. Whatever you do, don't let a last minute change of plans ruin your port day. Now, the next thing I've got for you, it may not be something that'll ruin your day, but it can definitely have a negative effect on it. Now, no doubt you will want to purchase a souvenir when you visit a cruise port, or maybe enjoy some local food, drinks, and things like that. Oftentimes, prices are listed in local currency and can even be negotiated, but in order to get a good deal, you have to be aware of the local currency and the conversion rates. For instance, at the time I'm making this video, and if you were in Mexico, 100 Mexican pesos equaled $5.46, in US dollars. Well, if you find an item for 100 pesos and the seller says it's $10 US, and if you don't know any better, you'll just say, okay, great, but then you just paid almost double what you should pay for that item. Now, that may not break your bank, but if you buy a few items of different value for you, the family, or you're eating at restaurants and things like that, you could realistically end up spending $100 instead of $55, which is what you should have spent based on the conversion rate, and that's a big difference. That extra $45 could have purchased a few extra margaritas. So make sure you're aware of local currency conversion rates if you plan on doing any shopping or really just spending money in port on your port day. Now, next, speaking of spending money, please remember to use cash or a credit card when shopping or dining in port. With cash, you might be able to negotiate, and with a credit card, you have more resources if you're a victim of any type of credit card fraud. Whatever you do, always avoid using a debit card in port. Debit cards open up your actual bank account and your savings to potential issues, and even though banks are much better these days at helping if your debit card is compromised, why even risk your own money when you can risk the credit card company's money and have nothing to worry about when making purchases in port? Now, number 8 is important, and it's even more important if you're traveling to cruise ports outside of Mexico or the Caribbean, and that is to make sure you're aware of what to expect from Mother Nature at the time of your cruise. That's right, know what the weather might be and plan accordingly. Warm sunshine, cold rain, high winds, weather in some locations can be very unpredictable, so you have to pack accordingly and be ready for anything. Mornings can start cold and get much warmer as the day goes on. Sunny skies can turn into a rainstorm. Try to make sure you have a weatherproof backpack, either with extra apparel you might need if it gets chilly, or to hold jackets or sweatshirts if it gets warmer throughout the day. Maybe have a rain jacket available as well. Just know that the weather you get off the ship with may not be the same weather when you head back to the ship at the end of your day. Not being prepared for the weather can easily ruin your port day. Now, another thing that can ruin a port day very quickly is not having your medication, okay? Now, a lot of people use medication regularly. It's an important part of their daily regimen. You might be in a port all day long. You might spend more time in the port than you expected if there's any delays, or God forbid, you miss your ship entirely and have to travel to the next port to get back on board. Whatever the situation, make sure that you carry any important medications with you when you get off the ship so that you're ready for any situation that might come up. I know it sounds simple, but important things can be overlooked while rushing and to get off the ship in the morning with all that chaos. So please pre-pack those medications and have one less thing to worry about. Make sure that not having your medication does not ruin your port day. Now, finally, number 10, don't plan too much. I know this might sound silly, but sometimes you just have one thing to see or do in a port, and that'll take up your entire day, and that's great. But some ports might have multiple things that you want to see or do. There might be many landmarks or points of interest, and you want to see as much as you can, and that makes sense. But remember, your time in port is limited. If you plan too much, then you risk not really getting the chance to enjoy what you see or do. Now, instead of trying to do like 6 things as quick as possible throughout your day and skimming over them, try doing the 3 most important things. Prioritize them. Do things where you can spend more time enjoying and learning about the experience. That way you'll have a much better experience with the things that you chose to do in port, and you still have something to look forward to if you want to go back to that port again in the future. Now, I know I said I have 10 things to go over, but there's really one more rule that we live by in port days, and that's always helped us to have the best port day possible. And now, it's a very simple concept. Be early. That's it. Be early. Now listen, truth be told, we are not early for a lot of things, but when it comes to port days and excursions, we are always early. Whether we're heading to a beach club or finding a tour bus in Norway on a European cruise, we are always early for those kind of things. We put a lot of time and effort into planning our cruise and our excursions, and we want to be early and have our choice of the best spot by the pool, or the prime real estate on the beach, or the best seats on the tour bus. Be early so that you're not stuck with whatever's left over when you get there. So there you have it. There are 10 quick things, or maybe 11, I guess, that you should know about when you're making all your plans for excursions and things like that in your port day, so that your port day does not get ruined. Now, I hope you found this video to be helpful, or maybe you can share it with friends or family that are taking a cruise in the future. And I hope that your cruise is amazing. Now, remember, if you happen to be looking for an incredibly experienced travel professional that can help you plan your next cruise on any cruise line to any cruise port, anywhere, and will help you find the best deals possible, contact my awesome wife, Sharon, at sharonatsea@gmail.com. That's right, sharonatsea@gmail.com. Shoot her an email. Tell her you saw in the video that she can take care of you, and I think you're going to be very happy. Okay, I'm glad you stopped by today. I hope you are too. We hope you come back and see us again. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.